Now we're going to talk about the update on this lawsuit between the 4 West Virginia players and the NCAA. The 4 players are Tye Edwards, the running back from Northern Iowa, Jimmori Robinson, the defensive end transfer from UTSA, Justin Harrington, the safety transfer from Washington, Jeff Weimer, the wide receiver transfer from Idaho State. And I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. But anyway, I talked about it on the show already. They're suing the NCAA. I'll leave a link to the show I've already done at the end. But they've sued the NCAA to try to get their eligibility, right? Well, a couple days ago, someone by the name of Sam Ehrlich on X put out a tweet. Now, Sam Ehrlich is a professor at Boise State University, but he's a former attorney, and he also writes about college sports law. He's very interested in it. He writes about it. He posts about stuff on Twitter. He's a very good source for this type of information. He put out a tweet on August 5th, which was 2 days ago. It says, the West Virginia football eligibility case has indeed been reassigned to Judge John Preston Bailey after Judge Klee recused, citing his support of WVU athletics. Judge Bailey, of course, ruled in 2023 that the NCAA's year-end residence transfer rule violated antitrust law. And remember, this at its core is about antitrust, because these players are claiming that by not being ruled eligible for at least 3 or in some cases 4 years of college football, they're being restrained from being able to earn NIL money because they spent, whether it be they spent years at JUCO or community college, or whether it be, some of them have battled injuries throughout their careers. They've had seasons canceled in some cases. Multiple reasons here. They're saying, hey, you're impending on our ability to earn revenue. We've got the profit share deal now kicking in for this season. And they're like, hey, I can't participate in profit sharing because I can't be on the roster, and I can't earn NIL money because I'm not on the roster. And what business wants to pay me if I'm not playing and if I'm not on the team? So it's at its core, it's an antitrust case. And Judge Bailey, when other people were suing the NCAA saying, hey, we should not have to sit out a year. That's what the year in residence rule was. When the NCAA said every player should be required to sit out a year, Judge Bailey ruled that that's an antitrust law, because that year that they sit out, they can't earn money, right? Or at least it hurts their opportunity, hinders their opportunity to earn money. So this tells me the fact that Judge Bailey has already ruled against the NCAA once, there's a really good chance he could rule against them again. Now, obviously, it's a different case, different details behind the case, and the case of each player is even different, right? It's very possible, because I reached out to Sam and asked him personally. I actually was going to have him on the show, but it didn't work out for various reasons. Sam told me basically the judge does have the flexibility, either if he wants, to rule differently for each player. But he said that's very unlikely to happen. More than likely, whatever ruling he makes, he will likely rule for the same for all 4 players. And he appeared on Mountaineer, the Locked On West Virginia show with Mountaineer Paula as well. And it's my understanding, I haven't got a chance to watch it, but it's my understanding there he said that he feels like these players have a really good chance of winning this case. Again, we'll see how it turns out. He also went on to say in a separate tweet that the case has been scheduled for August the 19th, Tuesday, August 19th. He says Judge Bailey has set a Tuesday, August 19th hearing date for the WVU football eligibility case. So August 19th, which is 12 days from now, he will hear this case. And it's very possible he rules on that day as well. So maybe, just maybe, these guys will get their eligibility granted before the first game of the season. Now, will they be able to play the first game of the season? I'm not sure. Thankfully, West Virginia doesn't start with a team like Penn State this year. They're starting with Robert Morris. They should be able to beat Robert Morris without these guys. But it would be really cool for them to be able to get in that game and play, to try to, get adjusted to what Coach Rod wants to do. But at very, very worst, if they get declared eligible on this date, they'll at least have some practices under their belt before game 1, and will have a couple of games under their belt before Pitt comes to Morgantown on September the 13th. But that's the latest update. I think this is good news if you're somebody who wants these players to win. Now, the other side of the argument is, hey, this opens up a whole new can of worms for college athletes, and it just creates less guardrails and more chaos, and we're now going to have people playing college football for 6, 7, or 8 years now. And I get that, and that is something that is a concern, I guess, for those of us who like to follow college sports. But as a West Virginia fan at heart, I'm biased here. I want these players on the field for 2025 because I think they have a chance to help this team win, especially Jimmori Robinson. I've talked about him on the show multiple times. Former Defensive Player of the Year in the American Conference for UTSA, 10.5 sacks a year ago. He's a phenomenal football player. Phil Steele put him as a first-team All-Big 12 performer in his preseason magazine. So he's that good, folks. West Virginia needs him on the field. And I think the other three guys also have a great opportunity to contribute and maybe even be starters for this football team. So this case is going to be critical, or at least important, in my opinion, for this team. Is how many win? Will it make a difference in how many games they win? Maybe. It's very possible. I think Jimmori Robinson's good enough that he can impact games and potentially be the difference in winning or losing a game or two here and there. So because of the pressure, he's able to get on the quarterback. So let's see what happens on August 19th when Judge Bailey hears this case. And, fingers crossed. I want to hear your comments, though, in the comment section, your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this case? How do you think Judge Bailey will rule? Do you think it's positive for West Virginia that he's now going to be presiding over this case? I want to remind you about the Golden Blue Breakdown show that Jonathan Martin and I do on Wednesday. We record on Wednesday nights. It typically airs or is published on Thursdays around lunchtime. You can check out the one we did today. I will leave a link to that in the comment section if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet. We did our season prediction video where we went through each game one at a time and gave whether we thought West Virginia was going to win or lose that game, and of course gave the overall records of the team that we're expecting for this year. So if you want to check that out, check out the link in the comments. Don't forget our new website, wvsportschat.com. You can be a subscriber to that site now. When you pull it up, it'll give you the option to subscribe, where you get weekly emails sent to your inbox showing you what has been written on the site for the previous week. We ask that you please do that and support what we're doing there. Obviously, you can subscribe to this channel. That's free as well. It's very easy. Just hit that subscribe button. You can simply hit the thumbs up button on this video. That really helps the algorithm, shows YouTube that you like what I'm doing, and they will hopefully pump this video out to more people. You can also subscribe. You can also also share it. All that helps. And make sure you have notifications on as well, by the way, to make sure you get notified of future content. Oh, and don't forget about this video here where I talked about the case involving those 4 West Virginia athletes. God bless, and Q Country Roads.